Hey guys, I'm majicDave, and this is World Project. I've been working on the water, as you can see. So what it's doing is it's using the depth of the water to kind of just offset a sine wave function, and it's doing that with a few different wavelengths and slightly different positions. And it's actually not that computationally expensive. It's basically all being done in the GL shading language. And it's also got transparency, so you can see the terrain below, and it's actually refracting the terrain as well. Actually, it's a little bit weird in this area that the waveforms are kind of quite similar in length and stuff. It actually changes quite significantly as you move around the world. There's quite a lot of different combinations of waves that you can end up with. But yeah, using the depth works quite well because the waves are actually pushing up towards the land, wherever you are. It's just really simple and it seems to be quite effective. So the transparency is actually fake as well. So this is basically, so I'm rendering all of the terrain without the water first, as though the water doesn't exist, and as it gets deeper I sort of make it a bit murkier, fade it down to this kind of blue colour. And then I render the water, and as an opaque flat kind of layer, and that just looks up the environment map that's being used to compute the physically based shaders and stuff. And so it just renders the environment map onto the surface, but it looks like it's transparent. So it's a nice little, easy little hack there, really. There's a few artifacts and a few little odd things still, but overall I think it's a good start, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. So I haven't done a huge amount other than that. Basically, what happened, I haven't done a video for a couple of months now. After the last video, I went off to Oculus Connect. And I thought I would probably come back full of enthusiasm and launch straight into World Project, but it sort of didn't happen that way. Basically, I don't know, I didn't feel any sense of urgency as a result of it, and I did feel very inspired, and I do feel very inspired to work on this and to work on VR as well. But yeah, it just sort of seemed like maybe I should focus on finishing an update to Blockheads that I'd started working on. So that's where I sort of focused my time since then. And then so I got an update out, and now I'm back to working on this again. So yeah, well, I guess the other thing that I figured out when I was at Oculus Connect was I don't really need to focus on gameplay as much as I thought, because just being in VR is an experience, and being in a world like this in VR is alone just something kind of amazing. And if you could, if I have the multiplayer aspect and just a little bit of kind of being able to customize it and do various things in the world, I don't know, that's a thing already, and I don't really need to sort of have a bunch of enemies or a bunch of really complicated game mechanics, and it's probably just not, I don't need to focus on it yet. I will have game mechanics, but yeah, it's probably more important just to have a cool thing to explore. And so with that in mind, I started thinking more about, basically I thought it would be good to add a scripting language to the game. So that way players can really configure it however they want. And I thought, actually, because the other thing I've been doing is flying quadcopters. I've been sort of building them and then flying them around, and I thought basically if someone could come along and modify the scripts to the extent that they could turn this into a quadcopter flying simulator, then that's what I want. I want people to be able to have that much control. So yeah, that's kind of the plan, and I've integrated Lua, which is a scripting language that's quite commonly used in games. I don't really like it, but the options are kind of, well, there aren't a huge number of options. So so yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I stick with that or not. I think at some point I might have to rewrite all my bindings and stuff in a different language. I don't know, but for now it'll at least allow me to abstract the right stuff. Just get it back to daytime. Let that shader, the exposure shader. Actually, I think that's new too. I don't think I had that in the last video. So it's automatically sort of adjusting the exposure of the scene depending on where you are and what you're looking at now. So if I go in these dark trees, it's brightening it up so the sky's really white, and then if I sort of go back out again, it'll all go a bit darker. So yeah, I started work on that, and I've actually, all this player movement and event handling is now being done by scripts. I'm just going to do something a little bit different here and show the script. I mean, that there is all the code for the player movement. It's mostly just vectors. So this function here is just called every frame, or every sort of update step. It's not strictly tied to the frames, but yeah, and then it just does a bunch of matrix math, and probably over complicated matrix math. I don't know, but it does the trick. So this is the stuff. And so what that needed to be opened up as a script, because if you're going to be remapping the controls to be controlling another object, then you need to be able to change what's happening here. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of fun. I haven't done that before, and I think it'll be really interesting. I'm just really excited about giving players total control over this game, like as much as I can. Just let people, this is a large planet and it's got certain rules and it's got a bunch of built-in scripts that turn it into a particular kind of game or whatever. But then if other players can just take it and turn it into a flight simulator or I don't know, like a building or a sort of any other kind of game they want, really. I mean, a tower defense game or a surfing game. I don't know about that. That might be a bit hard, but yeah, I want to give players the control and complete control of the world generation, so they can change the planet to be quite different. So it'll be just a big old sandbox is basically my plan. Yeah, the only problem with doing that is it increases the scope quite a bit. So yeah, but I've got no worries about extending the development time of this game. It can take as long as it wants, so that's all good. I do want to release it quite early though, so I don't know, we'll get it onto Steam Early Access at some point, fairly early on. Anyway, I've probably rambled on enough. Hopefully I'm going to get a bit more time to work on this, although we have a new baby due very shortly, so I don't know. We're going to have 3 kids under 5 in the house, but I'll do what I can when I can, and yeah, I'll just see how it goes. So cool, we'll catch you next time.